Essie and welcome back to Vlogmas Day 7. How are we already 1 week into Vlogmas? I feel like this month is just going to fly by. It's going to be the 25th of December before we even know it. It just blows my mind that it is Vlogmas Day 7. But I was up bright and early this morning and have Alex to thank for literally saving my back. I was in bits this morning after my workout yesterday. My lower back was just killing. Get yourself a partner that will give you a back massage at 6:45 in the morning. So Alex was giving me just like a really intense, like very deep tissue back massage, and I feel like a whole new woman. I am so grateful to that man. So I have just been pottering about the house this morning, really. I feel like 2 nights out in a row has just led to things getting a little bit on top of myself. I don't know if anybody else gets like this, but I am just like a stuff person. I end up just kind of like exploding stuff everywhere. I have like piles in that corner and like things that I didn't sort in that corner. So I spent a little bit of time this morning just pottering about the house and just tidying things away, because I am such a tidy house, tidy mind kind of a person. I always feel so much better when like my space is a little bit more decluttered. In fact, before putting up the Christmas decorations, I did do like a really deep house clean. I feel like it's just like a rite of passage. I was that person as well that was always very bedroom proud as a child. I think I've spoken about this before, but I was also that kid that moved furniture all the time and like rearranged my bedroom, and I always wanted it to be as tidy as possible. I remember actually having a group of friends come to visit, and I think it was in like college, maybe we were having like pre-drinks or something like that, and I remember one of the guys looked at me and I had these like Jo Malone boxes on these shelves in my family bedroom, in my family home, and he kind of pointed them out and was like, Ellie, I feel like you need to fix those boxes because they're like on the wonk. And one of the girls was like, no, Ellie does that deliberately, it's called stylizing. He just looked at me like I was crazy. But I was always very bedroom proud, and I always wanted to have like a clean and tidy bedroom before the Christmas decorations went up, before Christmas Day, before New Year's. And I feel like I get that way with my home now. I want to have a clean and tidy home, especially if I'm like going into a new day, or before the Christmas decorations went up, we did such a deep clean and like big tidy of the house, just because I know with how busy I am throughout Vlogmas as well, it does start to get a little bit on top of me. So it was really nice to spend a little bit of time this morning just cleaning and tidying and decluttering and getting the house back to a really lovely point. And I have had a little delivery arrive this morning that I wanted to unbox with you guys. Revitalash have so kindly sent over a few goodies ahead of Christmas, which I'm very, very excited about. I was just looking inside the box and thinking what amazing Christmas gifts these would actually be. If you know someone that's like really into like lash health or their makeup, I am super excited about the eyelash curler, because I am not gonna lie to you, my eyelash curler, I'm actually embarrassed to show you, I have had for so many years. It's one of those products that I feel like you don't really necessarily think to like upgrade or like update, and you end up having it for years, ends up getting a little bit grotty. I feel like this is such a lovely gift. You can pop it into like a little stocking filler, and I've heard amazing things about Revitalash's eyelash curler. I feel like using an eyelash curler really does make such a huge difference to like your mascara application and just how your lashes look day to day. So very, very excited to unbox that and add that into my routine. We then have a new pair of tweezers, which again I feel like is actually a really good Christmas gift. I mean, you could literally give these together as like a little set, pop them in a stocking, it's like a little stocking filler, but having a good pair of tweezers makes all the difference. I'm a very hairy person, a bit TMI, but I feel like here at Vlogmas there's just like not really many boundaries. We can chat about all sorts of things. It's the girls group chat and there are no off limits in the girls group chat, but I'm a very hairy person. I actually have a little bit of a monobrow if I don't pluck my eyebrows. I don't get them threaded or anything. In fact, I don't even fill them in anymore. I literally just brush them up. That is how hairy and like full my eyebrows are. In fact, I might have told you the story before, but I remember back when I was in year 7, so I would have been 11, 12 years old, my sister made a comment about the fact that I had a monobrow. I was like, you need to fix that. So I that evening went into the bathroom, grabbed my razor and just went whoop. My lashes, not lashes, brows literally started from about here for 2 months. I remember my mother being like, what on earth have you done? And I was like, she said I needed to sort them. So a good pair of tweezers is an absolute must to have in your collection. Also, if you have a partner who ends up getting eyebrow hairs like Jeremy Clarkson, this is something I chase him around the house with and have to sort out. So really, really excited. These are called the Precision Tweezers and they look so sharp. They look absolutely amazing. So very excited about those. We then have two products that I'm not gonna lie to you, I've actually never tried before. These are the Revita Lash Advance and Revita Brow Advance conditioners for eyebrows and eyelashes. That sounds amazing. I need to actually look into what exactly you would use this for. So it says physician developed breakthrough eyelash conditioning formula designed to enhance the beauty of less than ideal lashes. Scientifically advanced biopectin complex and natural botanics help protect against breakage and brittleness whilst improving flexibility, moisture and shine for bold, beautiful, more dramatic lashes. So it basically sounds like a brow serum and a lash serum, but more of like a conditioning serum, which honestly, I feel like I could definitely need. We then have a high definition brow pencil, which sounds absolutely amazing, and also a length defining tubing mascara. And I have to say, I have become quite a tubing mascara convert. They just come off your lashes so easily, especially when you've had like a rather late night and you're just desperate to get to bed, but obviously you need to do your skincare, you need to take your makeup off. This is amazing because it literally just kind of like pulls off of your lashes, just slides off. I don't feel like you have to like rub or scrub or hurt your eyes in any way. So very, very excited to try this tubing mascara. It says that it separates lashes to define and extend with superior hold, non-flaky, stale day formula. That sounds right up my street. So such a gorgeous delivery from Revita Lash. I think the thing I'm definitely most excited about is the new lash curler, or even the tweezers actually. I might even wrap these and pop these in Alex's stocking because it is a little bit of a joke how much I have to chase him around the house to sort his brows out. So I might pop that in his stocking and say, this is so that you can actually sort your own brows for once. That would actually be really funny, but such a gorgeous delivery. Okay, I'm gonna give you a comparison, but you have to promise not to judge me because these are just so old now. Probably about 3 or 4 years old, and actually looking at them, they've gotten so gross, which I hadn't even noticed, but the Vitalift ones are just beautiful. I mean, look at that like stainless steel. That is so, so gorgeous. Really lightweight as well. I feel like these are going to be amazing with regards to just kind of like creating that lift and curl in your lashes. So time to say goodbye to these, the new addition in my makeup bag. These are absolutely beautiful. I've just come into our bedroom because would you look at that sunshine streaming through. It is such a beautiful day today, and I don't actually think it was forecast to be sunny, which makes it even better. It's so funny how much us Brits obviously talk about the weather, but it just makes such a difference day to day, and especially today because we are actually heading out today. I'm really excited to finally head to the Winchester Christmas market. It is one of the best markets in the UK, if you ask me. Winchester is so close to me here in the New Forest. Such a beautiful city and has the most magical Christmas market, literally set in the cathedral grounds. And I have a couple of new kind of like jackets that I wanted to show you that I thought would be perfect to style up for tonight. I mean, this could not be any more kind of like country chic. This I think is technically a barn jacket, and it's so funny because I swore off barn jackets for the longest time because they were quite a trend item, and I didn't want to add it into my wardrobe not knowing if it was going to be something that I, you know, really loved, that kind of like worked well. And actually in hindsight that was so silly because being a countryside gal, a barn jacket is honestly perfect for my wardrobe, and I absolutely adore this kind of like olive green number. This feels very like Barber-esque, which I do really, really enjoy. And I love this kind of collar. It's got this almost like leather collar to it, which I just think adds a real bit of like interest and detail to the jacket. This is the kind of thing that I feel like you can literally just chuck on over the top of leggings, welly boots, you know, just like roll necks, any kind of like countryside outfit that you've got on, and it looks so country-esque, but still really chic, like a really elevated country outfit, which I absolutely adore. I really love these almost kind of like vintage inspired button details running down it as well. It has pockets, and it's one of those pieces that I feel like is such a great investment and actually would make such a lovely Christmas gift if you know somebody who lives in the country or even lives in a city like Winchester. I feel like you've got so many gorgeous kind of like country-esque walks around the city. I feel like this would be such a great Christmas gift, so I will leave it linked down below. I went for a medium, I went for my normal size, and I think it's going to be the perfect fit. Oh, I am in love with this barn jacket. This is absolutely absolutely beautiful. I do actually have a barn jacket in my collection from Hobbs, which I really enjoy, but it's a little bit more kind of like waxy and waterproofy, whereas this I feel like is perfect for actually this time of year, but I can also so picture myself wearing this in like February, March time when the weather starts to get a little bit warmer. I feel like this is just a perfect kind of transitional jacket. This is beautiful. I love the length of it as well. I feel like it's a really nice length and a really nice fit. I'm glad I went for the medium. I think the large would have been great if you want a more oversized look. The other one that I have in my collection is a bit more oversized that I got from Hobbs, whereas this I want just to be a little bit more fitted, and I just think it fits so nicely. I love the leather collar detail. I love these almost kind of like brassy antique buttons running down, and of course you've got the pockets. I mean, wouldn't this just be a perfect like dog walking coat? You can pop your little poo bags in the pockets. It is so gorgeous for that kind of like countryside style, but elevated countryside style. This, oh my gosh, I could not be more in love with. Gosh, the sunshine is literally almost changing my hair color. I feel like I've looked like I've got some almost kind of like strawberry highlights running through it, but the other piece I picked up I could not be more obsessed with. You know how much I love a fluffy coat at this time of year. They're literally all I'm reaching for daytime and for nighttime styling, but I do feel like the fluffy coats that I have in my collection already are a little bit more nighttime-esque. I don't really reach for them quite as much during the day, so I really wanted to add more of like a daytime fluffy coat to my collection. So when I saw this gorgeous little chocolate brown number with this adorable little collar, I could not have added it into my basket any quicker. This is the softest thing in the entire world, and I really like the fact that it's a little bit darker. I feel like this is just going to go with so much in your wardrobe. It's the kind of piece where I feel like, yes, it's great for daytime styling, but I could definitely also elevate this for evening wear. I mean, a fluffy coat with like a gorgeous evening look, I just feel like you cannot beat. I like the fact that this is a little bit more cropped as well. It also adds to that more kind of like casual vibe. In fact, I feel like this could be perfect to wear today because nothing keeps you warmer, nothing keeps you snugglier than a fluffy coat, yet it just looks so beautiful. It looks so elevated. I feel like you just can't beat them at this time of year, and this I am just obsessed with. And I think I may have just found the perfect Christmas market jacket. I mean, how cute is this? I love, especially this styled with like the white wide leg trousers that I'm wearing today. These are from Abercrombie. I always get so many questions on them. They are so comfortable. They're from the Curve Love range, and they do come in short, so they fit perfectly in length, especially with something like these boots. These are from Suzanne, and I absolutely adore them. The chocolate with the chocolate of the jacket, I just think it is so cute. And actually this is quite lightweight, which I do like. I did decide to size up in this. Did decide to size up in this. I got a large because I wanted it to be a little bit more oversized. I thought it would make it a little bit more casual, and I definitely think it does. It's just got these little kind of like hook and eye, so it does close properly if you do want to like really snuggle yourself up in there. Oh my gosh, I am so in love with just how soft and cozy and snuggly this is. I feel like this is just so perfect for Christmas market shopping. I mean, this is my outfit of the day. I'm ready to go, ready to enjoy the Christmas markets. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it is so bright and sunny, but we've just arrived at the Christmas market now. You can see the little bits behind, and then you just walk through beside the cathedral, which is playing the most beautiful Christmas music at the moment. I don't know if you can hear it. I think there is a choir practicing inside, and you head round into the main market here. And then around the back of the cathedral is the main market, and how incredible is this? I just feel like there are no other Christmas markets in such beautiful locations. They always have amazing stalls, amazing food as well. Oh my goodness me, how cute are these baubles? Winchester Cathedral baubles. They are absolutely beautiful. I always love the smell of these. This is just so nostalgic and so festive. I'm such a magpie of beautiful baubles. Look at these. They're absolutely incredible, and they actually have a sweetie one, quite similar to the sweetie one that I have on my tree. That is so gorgeous. Oh my goodness me, look at these incredible sheepskins. We have one sitting on our ottoman, a gorgeous like dark brown. We always get so many compliments. Looks like they've got a few different colours as well. This is kind of the colour that we have, and everyone compliments it because it's so lovely and warm to like sit on. Oh my gosh, these are absolutely beautiful. I am so drawn to felt decorations at the moment. Look at this little mouse. He's so cute. You've got some little like ballet dancers, some little tartan skirt mice. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so cute. I always
love this view of the Winchester Market with the cathedral behind, and there's always so many amazing stalls along this part as well. Oh my goodness, this stall is absolutely beautiful. They have the most stunning handmade jewellery pieces, necklaces, earrings. I've fallen in love with this pair. Oh my goodness, these are all beautiful. Look at the little houses, all handmade. And I love these little baubles. They are so sweet. Love to see a little New Forest shortbread, New Forest representation. Oh my gosh, these look gorgeous. This is Greenwood Pottery, and they have the most beautiful pottery bits. How gorgeous are those Christmas trees? And I have fallen in love with this cathedral candle. How incredible does that look? There's also the cutest little baubles, the little guards. Oh my goodness, it's stunning. Oh, I love these oven mitts, and I hadn't just got the Wimbledon ones this year. I've definitely considered picking these up. I love the illustrations. Oh, how cute is that little London one? That is so sweet. I am such a sucker for good pottery. How beautiful are these? The mugs, the teapots, oh my goodness. I'm loving seeing how many New Forest brands there are here at the Winchester Market. This is New Forest Botanics. They have the most gorgeous soaps and hand creams. Oh, and I love this stall. It's a like garden ornament store, and they have the most incredible antique climbers. They have the most amazing like ornaments that you can prop up in the garden. It is absolutely beautiful. This smell is so nostalgic for me. The Glühwein, oh, this smells so incredible. I wish smell-o-vision was a thing, and they literally have it in the world's biggest pot simmering away. Back home now after the most magical trip to Winchester Christmas Market. It is such a must hit on your list. If you are anywhere near down like south in Hampshire or even like Sussex or Berkshire, it's just the most beautiful Christmas market. I hope you could actually hear me whilst I was vlogging around though, because it was so windy. Oh my goodness me, I feel like my hair has just become a bird's nest now after that visit. But we ended up grabbing lunch actually at Needed instead of the market stores, because the queues were just a little bit too long. It's always very busy at the Winchester Christmas Market, which is always something that you need to just take with a pinch of salt. So we decided instead of standing around and having, you know, like street meat or kind of Christmas market food, we'll pop to one of my favorite bakeries, which is right on the corner of the high street. It's called Needed in the sense of like kneading bread, and they do the best like focaccias. They do little pizza slices, sausage rolls. We had bagels and they were absolutely delicious. And when you sit upstairs, you can literally see over the high street is the best place for people watching. So such a gorgeous trip, such a magical Christmas market. I have chucked my hair up and popped my glasses on because things are about to get serious. In fact, I need to pop on my apron. We're baking with Ellie. That's right. I cannot believe that we have literally gotten to Vlogmas day 7 and we actually have not done any baking together. But if you're new and you don't recognize this apron, this is actually something that Alex got for me for Christmas maybe 3 years ago. It was definitely when we were in the old house that he got it for me. When I first kind of started getting into baking, I mean, is that not just the cutest thing that we have ever seen? And we need to protect clothes whilst we're baking because it can be a bit of a messy business. But I cannot believe we've made it a week into Vlogmas and I actually have not done any festive baking yet. But after visiting the Christmas market, I am just so in the like baking spirit. There were so many amazing smelling things that honestly it took all of my strength not to bring home the most incredible brownies. We did have a Bailey's hot chocolate whilst we were there, which I feel like is just a rite of passage when you're wandering around at the Christmas market. But they had like fudge stands, they had amazing sweetie stands. It is just so incredible like how many sweet treats they have. So it has put me in the mood to bake. So I've got out the big baking bowls, which I can't actually remember if these were a birthday or a Christmas present. These are actually from M&S. I'm pretty sure they still do them. They are huge. I mean, look at the size of that. Perfect when you're doing like a big old festive baking batch. And actually, if you know someone who's really into baking, I feel like these are incredible gifts to receive for Christmas. I mean, imagine unwrapping those under the tree. How gorgeous are they? I love the like sage green color. They're just a little bit different than like your classic, you know, kind of like neutral baking bowl that you would normally get. So I absolutely love them, and I'm going to be doing my mum's famous cupcakes. She calls them her fairy cakes. They are my absolute favorite. I've got my recipe book right here. They are one of the easiest things that you can ever do, but they are such a crowd pleaser. So I'm going to do a little batch of my mum's fairy cakes. I might even pop a little bit of cinnamon in them just to make them a little bit more festive. So I find the key actually to enjoying baking as much as possible
possible is to basically measure everything out into teeny tiny bowls. I've got lots of these little kind of almost like pudding bowls. In fact, this one is actually a Christmas pudding bowl. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's just the cutest little thing, perfect when we are measuring for baking. I've got my Joseph scales, which are super easy to use. We need 25 grams of butter. I don't actually have any butter in the fridge. I'm just gonna have to take it from here and buy some new butter. Actually not necessarily a bad thing that I'm not taking the butter from the fridge, because it does make it a little bit easier when it's a little bit softer. I think it's literally gonna be this entire slab that I have to use, but I do quite like chopping it up because I find melted butter is actually a little bit easier to mix in with all of the ingredients. So I'll pop it in the microwave for a minute. 125 exactly, that is perfect. And then 125 grams of caster sugar, 2 large eggs. Oh my gosh, I actually have the messiest baking cupboard at the moment. That just took me far too long to find the self-raising flour. That is definitely a job for January, but then also 125 grams of self-raising flour. It's such a simple recipe, I don't even really need my recipe book out in front of me, but I always have it just in case. But 125 grams, 125 grams, 125 grams, 2 large eggs, and then if you do want to add a little bit of flavouring, you could add vanilla, you could add cinnamon, you could add a little bit of ginger. I think I will add a little bit of cinnamon just to make it a little bit more, there it is, a little bit more festive. Just a little teaspoon is all you need. Then literally pop all of the ingredients in together and give it a little mix. Have you ever seen those memes where it's like when you crack an egg and then every time in between you just like go and just like rinse your fingers underneath the tap? Why is cracking an egg always one of the worst jobs to do? Oh, I almost forgot actually to preheat the Range Master, which is the loveliest gadget to have actually in the kitchen. But I'm not gonna lie, she can be a little bit of a fickle madam. So she's one that we do really need to give a little bit of time to preheat to get to temperature, because she's a she. We always say that. Sometimes she needs a moment, sometimes she doesn't want to cooperate. She'll listen when she wants to listen, but she definitely knows her own mind. So we'll give that a little bit of time to preheat whilst mixing up the mixture. It's funny because I was that kid that loved baking as a child. I used to bake almost every single weekend with my best friend Claire, who does sometimes watch this video. So if you are watching, hey Claire. We actually used to bake all the time, and we were never necessarily like that good at it. You know when you're younger and you think what you make is amazing. And I have such a funny story actually, and all my family will still give me this because it was just such a like ingrained memory in all of our brains. But I remember one time, it must have been like around Halloween, I don't really know why else we would have done that colour, but we used to love making cake pops. They were always one of my favourite things to make. I actually got a cake pop maker for my birthday one year, and they were really easy to do, so we absolutely loved them. Obviously really tasty, but there was one day where we decided let's use green food dye to do these cake pops. Why we decided to do that, I honestly have no idea, because they looked so disgusting. I don't know how any of my family managed to actually stomach them, actually eat them. They tasted great, like they tasted fine, but these like big green lumps of ball came out that we were serving to friends and family, and they all very willingly tried them. So that was such a funny weekend. We will always talk about the green cake pops that I did as a child. Whenever I tell my family, oh, I've like baked some goods, if anyone wants to try any of these cupcakes, they always reply and say, okay, but how do they compare to the green cake pops? Because nothing will beat them. But that is looking really good. It's so easy to mix together. I do have my Kenwood mixer, which I use when I've got like a really heavy mix to do, but to be honest, this is so easy to do by hand. I feel like we do need to do a cheeky little taste test. That is really good. I could actually add a little bit more cinnamon just to make it even more Christmassy. Now I do have a cupcake tray, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually use it for cupcakes anymore. I'm going to have to get another one, because there was one year that Alex decided to do Yorkshire puddings in the cupcake tray. And why is it that when you get that kind of like grease fat in a cupcake tray, it just never leaves? So I always found whenever I used it, they would get soggy bottoms, which if you watch Bake Off, we know we do not want a soggy bottom. So I literally just pop them in the little cupcake shells and then just pop them on a plain tray. You don't necessarily need a cupcake tray. I find that they keep them shaped absolutely fine. And this recipe does about 8 cupcakes, which I feel like is a really good number of cupcakes, especially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have a fiance like Alex who can literally eat 4 in one sitting. Well, I'm glad we made the most of the sunshine earlier because it definitely looks like it is going down quick. Honestly, I feel like I just never get used to how early the sun sets. Do you know what? I actually think I'm going to be able to do more than 8. These do rise quite well, so I might do a few more actually. How many of these red cases do we have? I don't want to do any of the other colours because I want it to be Christmas cupcakes. 1, 2, 3, 12 cupcakes. Okay, I think that should be a really good number, and then I can always text my family, tell them not green, and that we have some cupcakes going if anybody wants to try them. I would love to know actually if you are the baker in your relationship. I feel like we've had this conversation before, but I feel like in every relationship you have one baker and you have one chef. If you've got 2 of each, then you are very, very lucky, but I feel like it usually happens where one of you is really good in the kitchen when it comes to like meals, and then one of you is really good when it comes to like baking. And I think that's why I'm not actually the best chef in the world. That's why you'll always see Alex in the kitchen. That's why I feel like every time he's showing up on Vlogmas at the moment, he's making us something for dinner. And don't get me wrong, I can cook, but you know when you kind of just like fall into your roles in a relationship, those have like become our roles. I'm like, you know, the kind of the housekeeper essentially, I guess. I'm the one that like, you know, does the cleaning and the organizing and, you know, does the washing and things like that, and he is the one that does the meals. So even though I can cook, I can do an easy tray bake, you know, like I'm very easily follow a recipe. I feel like every time I do, it just turns out okay, and I think that's why I'm so much better at baking, because that is the point of baking. You follow an exact recipe to a T, you do exactly what you're told, and it tastes great. Whereas when it comes to cooking, I will follow a recipe, and this has happened so many times, and honestly, like we've gotten to a point where we're so far into our relationship, we don't need to be polite to each other anymore and like, you know, fake if something isn't nice. But the amount of times I have followed a recipe to a T, I have made something like really complicated, and we try it, and it's taken me hours, and we both just look at each other and go, yeah, it's just fine. Alex, on the other hand, can literally just grab random ingredients out of the cupboard. He will just look at what we've got. He will throw them together in a pan, and somehow it tastes amazing. And I feel like that's a real skill that I just do not have, that I seriously lack. Whereas he is not very good at following a recipe. So the amount of times that he's tried baking something and it doesn't turn out well, and I always ask him like, did you follow the recipe? And he's like, well, you know, I just thought it'd be quite nice to like add this, and they said to put this much in, but I felt like that was way too much, so I didn't do that. And I'm like, but that's the point of the recipe. It tells you exactly what you need in the dish. Like, why on earth would you not follow it? It tells you what you need for the bake. So that is why we have kind of asserted our roles in this relationship. I am the baker, he is the chef, and you know what, in my opinion, it creates a very, very happy relationship because he makes me amazing meals, I make him lovely bakes. We are both very, very happy with how it's turned out. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realise that you were so zoomed in there. I don't know how my camera did that to itself, but these are looking absolutely amazing. 12 cupcakes, which will rise really well. And of course, the best part about baking is when you get to lick the bowl. So let's pop them in the range for literally only 20 minutes is all that they need for them to rise and become the most delicious Christmas cupcakes. Well, how good did they look? Oh my goodness me, they have risen so, so well. And they're a little bit darker because of the cinnamon that I've added. They normally come out a little bit lighter than this, but I'm just gonna leave these to cool before we start icing. Right, it is time to decorate. The cupcakes have been cooling, and honestly, so good. It is taking everything in me not to just dive right in and have one right now, but I've just whipped up a little bowl of icing, which I was debating whether to put cinnamon in the icing as well to make it even more festive, but I realized if I do that it will discolor the icing, and we obviously want it as white as possible because I want these to be festive cupcakes, Christmas cupcakes, if you will. I actually have a couple of food coloring pens that I wanted to use that I thought we could maybe use to like decorate the cupcakes a little bit. We've got green so we can do Christmas trees, and then we've also got red. I was thinking of maybe doing like presents. I saw someone do something like that on TikTok and I thought it was really, really cool. And then we do also have hundreds and thousands as well. We could do a little sprinkle on the top. I thought we could just have a little bit of fun decorating the cupcakes and making them really Christmas themed. feel like the theme of today's bake is rustic and homemade. And that is all that we want at Christmas time. Taste-wise, I have already done a little taste test. They are 10 out of 10, but looks-wise, we're just not going to look too closely because the actual pens were a lot more watery. They've kind of like run into the icing, which I feel like I've never had happen before, which is a little bit of a shame. But you know what? We do love a rustic, homemade Christmas bake for the first festive bake of the season. I am really happy with those. I am so happy right now. We've just finished up dinner, courtesy of Alex, of course, and we may have had one, if not two, of the cupcakes each for pudding. But I've just come upstairs because I desperately need to wash my hair after the wind at the Winchester Market today. Oh my goodness me. It was a little bird's nest back then. And then, you know, when you kind of like brush it through one too many times, it ends up going a little bit greasy. Not a cute look, which is why I've literally just had it half up, half down for the rest of today. I just wanted it off my face whilst we were baking. But it's hair wash day today anyway. I have a rather exciting day in London tomorrow that I really want to have nice, clean, freshly styled hair for. And Alex has just suggested when I get myself upstairs, get myself in the shower, text him when I'm done. He can come up and join me. We can get under the covers and watch an episode of Downton in bed. And if that is not reason alone to marry that man, then I don't know what is. Honestly, I can't think of a more dreamy evening. I am so looking forward to it. I love watching like an episode or two in bed. In fact, I would love to know if you are a TV in the bedroom or not, because I feel like people are very passionate about it either end of the scale. Some people are so against having a TV in the bedroom. Some people cannot live without it. I'm a bit indifferent. I feel like we only ever really do it in the winter, like watch TV in bed. In the summer, I never really watch TV in bed, but it's just quite nice to have the option, especially on those like, you know, sick days or like migraine days where you don't really want to leave your bedroom. I think it can be quite nice. But then also a lot of the time I just watch things on my iPad. I never even watch YouTube on the TV either. I always watch it on an iPad. So I'm kind of indifferent, but it is quite nice to have it there as an option for nights like tonight. So I'm gonna get my butt in the shower, get myself into bed, and I will see you guys tomorrow for a rather fun and exciting day in London. Good night.